Have you ever felt like life was flying by as you entered your golden years? As we age, it's easy to fall into habits that not only diminish our dignity but also affect how others perceive us. In this video, I'll share 5 key behaviors you should avoid to cultivate a graceful and respectful presence in your later years. Trust me, you won't want to miss these insights. They could change how you navigate the challenges of aging and help you embrace this stage of life with wisdom and dignity. So, stay tuned until the end. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video, you can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. Life seemed long, but in the blink of an eye, I'd already reached old age. Time truly flies. Once you turn the corner of life, time feels like a speeding train. Going up seems so far, but coming down is so fast. How should we handle the clock of old age and the calendar of life? After all, growing old is a stage of life that no one born human can escape. However, that doesn't mean everyone matures as they age. As we grow older, our appearance becomes shabby and our bodies weaken. Memory fades and we tend to talk more and more. Instead of discussing the future, we reminisce and long for the past. Age spots appear and wrinkles deepen. Who can stop the relentless aging brought on by time? Yet I believe that only those with years of experience can exude dignity, even with wrinkled expressions. Even old trees can still bloom flowers. Those flowers are indescribably beautiful. Sometimes I meet elderly people with great character. Having lived through countless hardships, their wisdom shines in everything they do. These people have a deep understanding of humanity, good judgment, and much to teach. On the other hand, if one acts recklessly and insists that their opinion is always right, they easily get labeled as a stubborn old fool. While physical aging is unavoidable, to avoid aging disgracefully, at least in spirit, we must not act in a way that earns us that label. Whether you become an old person constantly criticized for being difficult or an elderly person with a gentle expression and open ears is entirely up to you. Many elderly people reflect on their day with a positive outlook, asking themselves whether they lived it well. Though we may not grow more beautiful as we age, we should at least avoid becoming unsightly. Today, I will share 5 behaviors you should avoid to develop a mature inner self as you age. From now on, I hope you actively work on fostering a graceful old age for yourself. Number 1 behavior to avoid is monopolizing conversations without even realizing that others might be criticizing you. In the past, when life expectancy was shorter, reaching 60 warranted a celebration, and living past 70 was rare. The young were many, and the elderly were few, so even if an elder raised their voice, they would receive respect and treatment accordingly, whether within the family or community. But times have changed. Today, the elderly are everywhere, and instead of respect, they often risk being seen as burdensome. With more elderly around, unpleasant behaviors become more noticeable. Take public transportation or dine at a restaurant, and you may encounter elderly people who speak particularly loudly, oblivious to the glares of others. While I understand that hearing loss can cause people to speak louder, they must be cautious not to disturb those around them. This is especially true during phone conversations, which can often cause others to frown. If the topic isn't urgent, it's polite to keep the conversation brief to respect others. It's torturous to endure someone speaking loudly on a bus or subway as if they were in their living room. While young people are not exempt from this behavior, with elderly people, you might find yourself glancing at them twice, wondering if they've learned nothing from all their years. An elderly person who talks too much becomes a target of disdain and may be seen as unseemly. There is a saying that elderly people should keep their mouths closed and their wallets open. The older we get, the more we must resolve to be people who speak less and do so softly. Speaking softly doesn't just refer to volume. It means not forcing one's opinions on others. One of the first things an elder must guard against is stubbornness. Our generation now needs to step back. Shouldn't we begin by lowering our tone of voice? In life, basic courtesy is more important than anything. While it's good to pursue your interests, you should at least avoid actions that harm others. People who dominate conversations often do so to flaunt their abilities or experiences. This behavior can come off as arrogant and boastful. There's a saying that as one grows older, one should strive to be more inquisitive and receptive. But when this advice is ignored, the elderly end up living in a shallow, foolish manner. To avoid becoming one of those elderly who seem foolish and unrefined, we must cultivate a considerate and humble attitude as we age. Being an elegant elder doesn't come from time alone, it requires restraint and effort. I would call this the etiquette that the elderly must uphold to be respected as true elders. Just staying silent can often keep you out of trouble. Silence is golden because those who exude inner beauty don't need to say much. Their presence speaks for itself. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Number 2, behavior to avoid is excessive bragging or boasting. Some elderly people, every time they open their mouths, boast or tell exaggerated tales. While it's distasteful to see someone boast, it can still be tolerated if there's a relationship there. But for some, it only gets worse. One of my friends constantly boasts about their children. If I had to list 3 things we should never boast about, they would be a spouse, children, and money. Among these, boasting about one's children is something even close friends should avoid. Boasting. Some people have a lot to boast about regarding their children, while others do not. Especially for those who are troubled or worried because of their children. Boasting about your kids in front of them is like bragging about your health in front of someone who is sick. Even if they don't show it outwardly, it becomes a source of stress for the listener. As people age, some friends tend to boast more than they congratulate, and this habit can even drive longtime friends away. If you want to keep longtime friends, never boast about your children in front of them. If you must boast about your kids, do so only with your spouse. When we meet people who are arrogant or boastful in society, there's something we come to realize: the more someone boasts, the less they have. They may work hard to praise themselves, but upon closer inspection, there's often not much substance behind their words. Most of the people who boast frequently turn out to be like a pretty but tasteless apricot with no real achievements to show. Why is that? It's because if a boastful person doesn't actively promote themselves as being great, their inadequacies will become apparent. To hide their many shortcomings, they constantly try to show themselves off to those around them. They feel that if they don't receive recognition from others, they won't be able to hide their weaknesses. Paradoxically, people who have achieved little are often plagued by anxiety and worry. On the other hand, those who have accomplished something don't feel the need to boast. They don't need to, because their achievements are naturally visible. This could be through where they live, what they do, or the people they surround themselves with. Such people lower themselves and show generosity by sharing with others. This is not to show off, but is an act of humility and consideration. Even without flaunting what they have, they never seem lacking. Their help and consideration reveal what they have and what they have accomplished. What kind of person are we? Whether wealthy in terms of money or spirit, those who focus on boasting likely have little in reality. Maintaining humility and being generous with others is the path to cultivating a truly wealthy mindset. That's how you age gracefully, because it's the attitude of truly rich people. When we're young, we might sometimes show off, but as we age, we come to realize that boasting is pointless. Living life proud of your achievements might seem important at home alone, but when you step outside, it's something you should keep hidden in the depths of your closet. Knowing your limits is one of the wisdom of a long life. Number 3, judging people after meeting them only once or twice is a common pitfall that we must actively work to avoid. It's often based on prejudices or preconceived notions that cloud our ability to see others for who they truly are. There's a popular saying that we all raise a few dogs in our hearts. 2 of these dogs have names. One is prejudice, and the other is bias. These internal companions can have a significant, often unconscious, impact on how we perceive and interact with the world. They represent the preconceived filters through which we view others, and their influence can lead us down a path of unfair judgments and limited perspectives. Humanity, in many ways, lives in a vast prison of its prejudices and biases, limiting our capacity to connect with others authentically. However, there's another special dog that has the power to chase away prejudice and bias. It embodies the wisdom of the saying, "Seeing once is better than hearing 100 times." This dog's name is insight. As we age and gather more life experiences, insight becomes more important. It gives us the ability to see beyond the surface and understand the complexities of people and situations. With insight, we can approach others with a sense of clarity, allowing us to make fairer and more just judgments, regardless of where we are or whom we encounter. But not everyone learns to cultivate insight. Instead, some people cling to their narrow views, judging, gossiping, and condemning others without really understanding them. They do so based on their own limited experiences and superficial assessments, and this type of dog is called narrow-mindedness. This narrow-minded dog is bold but ignorant, barking loudly without substance. It prevents people from seeing the bigger picture or considering alternative viewpoints. Before stepping into our daily lives, whether it be at work, social gatherings, or casual encounters, we must ask ourselves which dog we are bringing along. Is it prejudice, bias, narrow-mindedness, or insight? One of the crucial things we must discard as we grow older is our prejudices. When we're young, our understanding of the world is often incomplete. and we make judgments based on limited knowledge. With age comes experience, and ideally, wisdom. But with this wisdom, there can also come the temptation to rely on past assumptions, thinking that we've seen it all and that we know how people are likely to behave. This assumption leads to deepening prejudices, which can prevent us from truly seeing others. It's essential to regularly reflect on whether we are closing our minds and hearts to new people or situations because of these ingrained biases. Jumping to conclusions about others based on superficial traits, such as appearance, background, or education, is a dangerous habit. It is a biased way of thinking that can damage relationships, isolate us from others, and build mental walls that are difficult to break down. Harboring ill will toward others without any real justification only serves to keep us trapped in negativity. Yet even knowing this, it's often challenging to free ourselves from the grip of prejudice. It's a constant, active process of self-reflection and awareness. But the rewards are great. Choosing compassion over prejudice can expand our circle of friends and deepen our connections with the people around us. It brings us closer to our true neighbors and builds bridges instead of barriers. To cultivate meaningful friendships and truly connect with others, we must first rid ourselves of these negative prejudices. As we age, we need to be vigilant in breaking free from the preconceived notions that can trap us. We must learn to accept people as they are, rather than who we think they should be, or how we assume they will act based on our own biases. Reflecting on the wisdom of the renowned American poet Ralph Waldo Emerson, we should strive to meet people as though we are engaging with the divine, free of preconceived ideas about who they are or where they come from. This openness allows us to experience others fully and truthfully, embracing the richness of human diversity without the constraints of our past judgments. Ultimately, if we want to lead more fulfilling and connected lives, we must actively work to let go of our prejudices. Insight, compassion, and understanding must replace the outdated dogs of prejudice, bias, and narrow-mindedness. Only then can we break out of the mental prisons we've built for ourselves and embrace the full potential of our relationships with others. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Number 4. As we age, we tend to stop taking care of our appearance. Some might say, why bother about looks when you're old? Many think the inner self is what matters, and we should age naturally. However, neglecting our appearance for a long time can make us feel old and regretful when we see ourselves in the mirror, especially compared to friends who've taken care of themselves. A certain level of care is necessary for our self-esteem. Older people tend to become lazy, but staying active, walking more, and managing yourself helps maintain dignity. Maintaining a tidy appearance reflects a disciplined mind. Although there's no need to wear fashionable clothes as an elder, one shouldn't let themselves go entirely. Even though young people might look stylish with torn jeans and slippers, it can make an elderly person seem shabby. While we grow older, enhancing our outward charm can also make our inner beauty shine brighter. How do you feel after visiting the beauty salon? Women often say a change in hairstyle can be refreshing, and it's one of the most effective ways to shake off bad feelings and bring about change. Even those who've been sick for a long time often feel more alive after grooming themselves. Paying attention to one's appearance can help prevent emotional aging. As we age, this influence becomes stronger and undeniable. A study points out that the more a person looks like an elderly individual, the faster their emotional aging progresses, often leading to physical decline. It is said that taking care of your appearance, such as wearing nice clothes or managing your skin, can also help regulate emotions. Additionally, appearance management can prevent depression in elderly women, significantly benefiting their health. Many people over 60 believe that taking care of their appearance is something they will do until they die, citing improved quality of life and self-satisfaction as reasons. Appearance management also instills trust in others. What do you notice first when meeting someone? Although people often say that inner qualities matter most, we can't help but notice appearance first. This doesn't mean focusing on looks just for beauty, but rather focusing on things like trustworthiness. As we age, our experience, knowledge, and social credit increase. But if these qualities aren't properly expressed, it can be difficult to communicate the right message to others. A clean and neat appearance helps effectively convey your message. Those who consistently manage their appearance as they age come across as more capable. Being diligent is not easy to maintain, so it suggests that a person has good time and emotional management skills. Therefore, appearance management has many advantages, such as finding employment and maintaining relationships. Aging is a natural process, and as time passes, its effects inevitably show. However, trying to completely stop the aging process or go back to your younger days is nearly impossible. Nevertheless, now that you are retired and free, it might be worth reconsidering your outward appearance if you've let it go. Self-care affects physical health, but the mental aspect can make an even bigger difference. If you don't engage in personal development, you may be treated as a boring, outdated individual no matter where you go. Even if it feels tiresome, it's important to keep moving and walking frequently. And remember, you cannot replace your body once it has aged, so it's crucial to keep in mind that you only have one. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Number 5 is the belief that age or status automatically entitles you to respect from younger people. It is a flawed perspective that can lead to disconnection and resentment. What does being elderly mean to you? While society often considers the elderly to be vulnerable and in need of care, there are also many negative perceptions associated with aging. Common stereotypes include views of older people as stubborn, inflexible, or even shameless. Disturbingly, these negative prejudices seem to be on the rise, with trends such as the creation of no senior zones, following in the footsteps of the earlier no-kid zones. This exclusion reflects a growing discomfort between generations, highlighting the widening gap in understanding and mutual respect. Young people today are curious, often questioning the world around them, while many elderly individuals feel the need to teach or offer guidance based on their life experiences. However, problems arise when older people assume that their age alone grants them the authority to expect automatic respect or deference from younger generations. If an elder walks into a room, assumes their place at the head of the table, and expects others to follow suit, they risk alienating themselves from those who may not share the same perspective on authority. If they feel slighted or offended when they aren't treated with the level of reverence they believe they deserve, this dissatisfaction will show in their demeanor, which can only further push others away. On the other hand, elders who are willing to lower their pride, make compromises, and approach others with their generous spirit will naturally earn the respect they seek. By adopting a humble and giving attitude, older people can foster an atmosphere of mutual understanding and camaraderie with the younger generation. This openness not only strengthens relationships, but also promotes emotional well-being, leading to a more peaceful mindset and even improved physical health. In this way, respect is something that must be earned through one's behavior and attitude, not automatically granted at a due age. As we grow older, it becomes increasingly important to develop a sense of consideration for others. A truly admirable elder is someone who lives with an awareness of those around them, sharing spaces and experiences with a spirit of kindness and thoughtfulness. Unfortunately, many elderly individuals in our society still cling to the belief that they are owed greater understanding, rights, and privileges simply because they've lived longer. However, respect isn't something that can be demanded. It must come from a genuine place of care and humility. True respect is rooted in a mindset of consideration, not entitlement. The elderly, particularly in past generations, have often led lives filled with sacrifices. They have endured physical and emotional hardships to provide for their families, missing out on educational and professional opportunities as a result. Now, as their energy diminishes and the competitive world moves faster than they can keep up, these elders can look back on a lifetime of contributions. They were the heroes who helped build their nations, creating a more comfortable life for their children through their life. The rainbow and sacrifice. But despite these noble contributions, demanding respect in return for past deeds doesn't work. Forced displays of respect may be given out of obligation, but they won't be sincere or meaningful. Genuine respect must be earned through continuous personal growth and humility. To be a truly admirable elder, one must avoid the trap of clinging to outdated views of authority and status. Pride and stubbornness only serve to isolate and alienate, while thoughtful reflection and grace create the foundation for mutual respect and admiration. An elder who acts with grace, humility, and consideration will naturally attract respect, while one who demands it based on age alone will only seem old and out of touch. It's important for those of us who are aging to consider how we are perceived by others and to adjust our behavior accordingly. Maintaining a clean, well-groomed appearance is just the surface of what it means to age with dignity. More importantly, we must continuously refine our inner selves, filling our minds and hearts with positivity, grace, and a desire to connect with others. By practicing these values consistently, we will earn the respect of younger generations and build meaningful relationships based on mutual admiration. On the other hand, those who are boastful, arrogant, or overly focused on past accomplishments and wealth may temporarily inflate their self-image, but in reality, these traits are like a hollow bubble. Eventually they burst, leaving nothing behind but isolation and resentment. The negative stereotypes associated with the elderly weakness, stubbornness, and shamelessness don't simply disappear with age. They must be actively worked against through conscious effort and self-improvement. As we age, we must be mindful of how we carry ourselves and how we interact with others. Respect is not an entitlement granted by the passage of time, but something we earn by living with grace, humility, and consideration. I hope today's message inspires you to reflect on your journey toward a dignified and respected old age, one that is built on mutual understanding and genuine connection with others. As we wrap up today's discussion on the key behaviors to avoid in our golden years, I'd love to hear from you. What have you learned so far? Share one insight that resonated with you and that you plan to put into practice in your life. Your thoughts are important, and I'm excited to see what you take away from this. If you enjoyed this video, please leave your comment below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content that inspires and empowers you on your journey. Thank you for watching, and until next time, embrace your journey with dignity and grace.